Hey y'all, this is Cowboy Greg from Trinity, North Carolina, here on location. Today we're in Vicksburg, Mississippi, here at the battlefield, the national battlefield of Vicksburg. And so anyway, just a little bit to get it started, we're going to do a driving tour today. So we're going to be in and out of the truck, that kind of thing, but it looks like a very interesting place. Over 7,000 men were killed or wounded here at the Battle of Vicksburg, and the Battle of Vicksburg actually lasted more of a siege. It lasted from early May into July, I think 2nd or 3rd, and before the Confederates surrendered here at Vicksburg. So anyhow, we're going to get started, and y'all just hang on. Now what you'll have to keep in mind is there were not any trees between here and the Confederate forces. The whole area was open so the Confederates could see the Union coming. The Confederates had cleared all the trees from the landscape, and this was all open land between here and the Confederate works. Like I said, we're on the Union side now, and we'll tour the Confederate side later. This is the only house that was standing and still standing on the battlefield from the time of the battle. It was badly damaged, and there was Union soldiers dug in all around this particular house. And you can still see some of the trench works back this way. And where the parking lot is and the road That was the road, main road going from Jackson, Mississippi to Vicksburg. Okay, this is the old Jackson Road that went from Jackson, Mississippi to Vicksburg, Mississippi. This is the road the Union soldiers marched in on after securing Jackson and defeating the Confederates at Jackson, Mississippi. These are the names of all of the men in Illinois that served and fought at Vicksburg. Woo! This was the Confederates' fortifications, and the Union dug a tunnel and exploded black powder, creating a huge crater that the men fought in this crater for 20 hours until everybody just called it a draw. The Union retreated. Give you a little perspective, the red sign in the foreground is the 3rd Louisiana Confederate line, and just across the road and on the other side you can see a blue sign, and that's the Union Army. And plus there was Confederate soldiers on this bank in front of us. That's how close they were fighting. here in the horse's face. Says it all. Then on the other side, tour around the It's like you can still hear distant gunfire. Once again, they have the names of the soldiers that fought here. It goes all the way around the monument on 3 sides. So the Confederates were here, and the Union was there. And farther out down that hill, they were digging a tunnel to try to blow up the Confederate forces here, but it was never finished. Okay, so from this advantage point, the Confederate Army controlled the Mississippi River from here. Off in the distance, this way, you can see the Mississippi River, and this part right in front of us is basically where the river used to come in and turn and go back out that way. Now this is just part of the river, but it's not the main channel anymore. And from this spot you can see, I think that's probably I'm thinking the cemetery down the hill. And they had everything dug in here. So this is an original ironclad that's here on the battlefield. We're not going to be able to get to all of it because they've got the museum part closed and all that stuff. So unfortunately we can't get really any closer than this, but that's the paddle wheel. Had guns off of the back, and you can see the gun ports and the guns that would have been along the side. I really am disappointed I can't get any closer to this thing. We possibly could, but there is a park worker not very far away. So, and this is the USS Cairo. Very impressive for its time. Alright, we can't get in, they've got it blocked off. I don't know, I guess they're afraid we're going to give some people in there COVID or something. But anyhow, the monuments standing up are soldiers that are identified, and the little squares are unidentified soldiers. There's over 17,000 buried in this cemetery. It's a national cemetery, and there's more soldiers buried, U.S. soldiers buried in this cemetery than any other national cemetery. There's 1,000 or more from other conflicts besides the Civil War. So I never realized that Vicksburg had the largest national cemetery. These are markers for unidentified soldiers that they dug the remains up from other battlefields and brought them here to be buried in the National Cemetery. Okay, this is the marking place of the official surrender of the Confederate forces at Vicksburg. They, the first time Grant and them wanted an unconditional surrender, but the Confederate forces did not agree with that, and eventually, because Grant just didn't want to take that many prisoners with them, they gave them a conditions of surrender, were that if the Confederates lay down their arms and go home, they would accept those conditions of surrender. So anyway, that's the marker here in the middle of the battlefield. Okay, this is the Alabama Memorial, and it depicts the woman's role in the battle, where the woman is holding up the Confederate flag while offering a drink to the fallen soldier.